Wirtchen takes a deep dive into why today's younger generations are more anxious than ever, and what we can do about it. This book is packed with data, stories, and solutions that shed light on one of the most pressing issues of our time. Let's break it down chapter by chapter in a way that's both insightful and engaging. Grab a seat, and let's dive in. Chapter 1. The Rise of Anxiety. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain, staring up at its overwhelming height. That's how Jonathan Haidt describes the anxiety epidemic facing younger generations. This opening chapter sets the stage with startling statistics. Anxiety levels have increased by over 50% among teens and young adults in the past decade. Haidt explores the role of societal and technological changes, like the rise of smartphones and social media. He introduces the concept of social comparison on steroids, explaining how platforms like Instagram create an endless cycle of envy and inadequacy. By the end of the chapter, you'll feel like you've uncovered the root of a massive cultural shift. Chapter 2. The Digital Age Dilemma. Picture this: a teenager scrolling through their phone late at night, bombarded by flawless images and viral content. Haidt argues that social media isn't just a tool, it's a lifestyle that rewires our brains. This chapter delves into the addictive nature of likes, shares, and notifications. Haidt shares real-life stories of teens whose mental health deteriorated due to online bullying, unrealistic beauty standards, and FOMO, fear of missing out. He also highlights how algorithms prioritize sensational content, amplifying anxiety-inducing topics. The takeaway: while technology connects us, it also isolates and overwhelms us. Chapter 3. Helicopter Parenting and Fragility. Remember when kids played outside until the streetlights came on? Haidt argues that this freedom has been replaced by helicopter parenting, where children are shielded from risks and challenges. This chapter explores how overprotection fosters a fragile generation, ill-equipped to handle adversity. Haidt recounts stories of young adults struggling with basic life skills, like managing conflict or coping with failure. He introduces the idea of anti-fragility, the ability to grow stronger through challenges. Chapter 4. The Role of Schools. Schools are supposed to prepare us for life, right? But Haidt argues that modern education often does the opposite. This chapter examines how schools contribute to anxiety by prioritizing grades and test scores over emotional resilience. Haidt critiques zero-tolerance policies and the rise of trigger warnings, which he believes reinforce avoidance behaviors. He also highlights innovative schools that focus on social-emotional learning, showcasing how a balanced approach can reduce stress and build confidence. Chapter 5. Political Polarization and Fear. Have you ever felt like the world is more divided than ever? Haidt ties rising anxiety to political polarization, explaining how fear of the other side creates a constant state of tension. He shares data on how media outlets amplify fear and perpetuate an us versus them mentality. Through personal anecdotes and interviews, Haidt illustrates how young people feel overwhelmed by global issues like climate change, racial injustice, and economic uncertainty. The chapter ends with a call to action: focus on local solutions and personal empowerment instead of global doom scrolling. Chapter 6. The Cost of Perfectionism. Perfectionism is the silent killer of confidence. Haidt dedicates this chapter to the unrealistic standards young people place on themselves, fueled by societal pressures and social media. He shares heartbreaking stories of students who feel like failures despite their accomplishments. This chapter also introduces the concept of good enough, encouraging readers to embrace imperfection and focus on progress rather than perfection. Haidt's message is clear: self-worth isn't tied to achievements. Chapter 7. Building Resilience. This is where things get hopeful. Haidt outlines practical strategies for building resilience, drawing from psychology, neuroscience, and real-world examples. He introduces the 3 C's of resilience: challenge, connection, and contribution. He shares inspiring stories of young people who overcame adversity by stepping out of their comfort zones, forming supportive communities, and finding purpose through helping others. Chapter 8. The Power of Connection. Imagine sitting around a campfire, sharing stories with friends. Haidt argues that connection is the antidote to anxiety. This chapter explores the importance of relationships, emphasizing how face-to-face interactions build trust and reduce stress. Haidt shares studies showing that people with strong social ties are happier and healthier. He encourages readers to prioritize quality time with loved ones and limit digital interactions. One particularly moving story involves a teen who transformed their mental health by joining a local theater group. Chapter 9. The Path Forward. The final chapter ties everything together, offering a vision for an anxiety-free future. Haidt emphasizes the importance of systemic change, like reforming education and regulating social media, but he also focuses on individual actions, encouraging readers to cultivate mindfulness, practice gratitude, and set boundaries with technology. He ends with an inspiring message. While we can't eliminate anxiety entirely, we can learn to manage it and create a world where future generations feel empowered rather than overwhelmed. And that, lazy readers, is The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt. This book is a wake-up call and a guide to tackling anxiety head-on. Which chapter resonated with you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more bookish adventures. Until